Good morning, everybody. Happy Tuesday. It's April 6th, 8 a.m. my time. Welcome to the Alpha Trades community crypto analysis. So, today, what we're going to do is we're going to go over price action and analysis of Bitcoin from smaller time frames to large. We're also going to cover some of my long term indicators that give me an idea of where the market is extremely bullish, too frothy, where I need to start maybe getting out of the market completely. And then I'll show you all some local time frame signals where we can see on-chain data that gives us an idea of if the market is still continuing to be bullish and why I should still be long. After that, I'm going to show you guys some resources that I generally pay attention to, like Genesis Volatility, this BYBT data, Coinalyze, which is another free website, by the way. This is your look into Bitcoin. These are the signals, the long-term signals that I told you all about. Crypto Quant, these are the on-chain metric data signals. And then Delphi Digital, which is the institutional membership that I pay for. And some of the information I sort of summarize and share with my Advantage community. Then after that, I'm going to show you guys our 5K count challenge in our Discord community, how exactly it works, what you can get if you do decide to sign up for a membership here on the Alpha Trades website. When you hit the products page, it's $97 per month. Okay, so let's get to it. So first things first, let's start off with the Bitcoin price action. All right. So what we see here is a whole lot of chop, right? After we push through the April monthly open, this is a key breaker point right here. You could see we just stayed around here, and then finally we started to break and start rejecting that area over the last, 12 hours or so, right? So in this area, what the market is telling us is, hey, we tried to stay above the April monthly open, we're just not able to. So herein lies a problem. The problem is that if you look at this area, okay, it's been very, very crowded. In this whole resistance block, we've come here from the 30th of March, almost had 5 to 6 days of sideways movement, then broke down. Then we had this, what I call a over and under structure. And now we're climbing back inside that same area where we got rejected from, right? Let me turn off these pivots so I can show you all a little bit more clearly. So why is this area particularly that important? Well, if you look back here, right, we've served this area as a whole lot of resistance numerous times back from the middle of March. After we hit the 61K top, which in my opinion was just a big rally, failed, movement to stay above the previous all-time high of 58K. But this to me was sort of a deviation, maybe even a bit of a short squeeze, right? So if you shorted here, here, or even down here, right, your stop at the very most was up here above this high. Once you get squeezed out of that, okay, you also have people who may have bought long right here thinking, all right, well, it looks like we squeezed out these shorts. It looks like we might just be ripping from here. Nope, that's not what happened. What we did was, in fact, we pulled this off as a deviation, broke down, then came back up, and this is where we started building that block of resistance, meaning the sellers really started to step into the market and say, okay, well, we're going to start defending this level with all the might that we have, right? In which case, you could clearly see that this was resistance multiple times in the middle of March, multiple times by the end of March. And now that we're in April, even now it's posing a strong resistance. But I will say that after we've now hit this numerous times, okay, it is not as strong of resistance as you may think. So as we're coming into this area, I feel a little bit more confident that from here, we might just start heading towards 60K and beyond once we just sort of surpass this area. And what you really want to do is when you break through this area, you want to see good volume, big, strong candles. Strong candles like the one that we saw yesterday, just continuously on the way up, marching like this. This is the kind of movement right here. Okay, so we can even, grab a tool, something like this, right? Something like this is what you want to see all through this area. You do not want price action to be choppy like this as you're grinding through this area. You just want to just blast on through. Okay, so that's what I'm hoping and looking forward to. I am currently long Bitcoin and long a couple of other assets. I also have a bunch of other spot assets that I believe that are going to do particularly well in the coming leg of the bull market, the alt season, if you will. And we're going to talk about alt season, right? And why I believe that there might be a leg of that coming in the next few weeks, maybe even the next few months. Okay. So first of all, those are my thoughts for BTC. All right. What we need is strong price action blasting through that area. Now, what is the reason why we're just kind of hovering around here aside from the price action? Well, here's another reason. Okay. Here's Bitcoin dominance. Bitcoin dominance is nothing but the Bitcoin market cap versus the total non-Bitcoin market cap, right? That's literally all it means. Okay. How much percentage of the overall market cap does Bitcoin currently have in terms of money? Well, at present moment, it's about 56%. Back here at the beginning of January, it was about 72%. But look at this huge drop off, right? In this huge drop off, what has effectively happened is Bitcoin from this January moment onward. Okay. So let's do this. Where is January? Let's put a vertical line right there. So from this moment, beginning of January onward, all right, the money flows and the strength of the cycle, as you can see, has faded a little bit. Okay. And that's not a bad thing, but it just means that the money might be getting reallocated towards good altcoins. For example, Ethereum is one, right? Ethereum is obviously the second biggest crypto asset, or rather the first biggest altcoin. So money has clearly gone into ETH because ETH has now hit new all-time highs as well, right? Ethereum hit back here in February, it hit almost $2,040, and a couple of days ago it hit 2150 or something close to that, right? So you can see Ethereum is gearing up for a big breakout too. I mean, by any stretch of the imagination, you could clearly look at this and say, oh, wow, this broke out above this previous high. It's consolidating higher and looks like it's probably going to push higher. So if Bitcoin dominance is down, Bitcoin price action just goes sideways, and Ethereum and other assets are looking like this, what do you think is next? It's probably an alt season. This is something that I spoke about in my trading view post right here, where I call it one of the final legs of the alt season. Okay. The reason I believe in this, I wrote this post up in the middle of March. I believe that out of this big sideways movement, now that we're escaping the previous all-time high market cap, and the way you could do this is you could just go here and you can type in total 2. Okay. So in the total 2 market cap, right, what you effectively want to do is look at something like this, as you can see. Okay. So as we're escaping outside of the range high from 2017, 2018, if y'all remember, that was the end of the alt season right there, right? After that, alts just got demolished for several years, really. Now that we're making our way up higher, where could we go from here? Well, in my belief, I think from here, right, which is about $500 billion, we could probably go all the way to about 5 trillion, maybe 7 to 10 trillion as well. Okay. Because altcoins really garner momentum and they garner strength when they're moving hard, right? The reason I say that is because they're very reflexive assets. Okay. Bitcoin is too. But when altcoins are really gaining steam and they're putting in 10% a day, 15% a day, 20% a day, or even a week, right? 25% a week or something. More and more people get interested in things like that, right? People from Korea and Japan and India and China and Argentina and Canada and Europe, everybody from the world starts piling in, even the US, by the way. The US has obviously been, actively trading crypto, but now they will more so. Just like you remember the 2017, 2018 days where everybody was talking about Bitcoin and crypto. I believe we might be in that final stretch of that big, massive parabolic cycle like this coming up. Those are my thoughts, on why I believe that Bitcoin dominance going down, as you could see, could be very, very bullish for altcoins. Because as dominance goes down, and even if price action just kind of floats sideways here, it's really not that big of a deal, because that money can be rotating towards good altcoins like Ethereum, like let's see, let me start pulling up some other altcoins that I follow, right, or that I own. Serum, one of the altcoins that I've owned since about $2. I had mentioned this to our community. It's $2. You can see we're already up almost, was it 300, 400% or something? Let me see how much we're up actually. Yeah, almost 200% actually, right? I mean, that's a pretty solid return so far. Solana is one of my other favorites. It's done incredibly well, right? I've talked about Solana since like it was $3 or $4. A lot of our community members actually still own a little bit of Solana, and man, I mean, that's like from here on up, that's a 8 to 9x return. FTT, which I own, okay, I've entered from $5. Look where we are right now, right? From entry to where we are right now, I'm up almost 800%. One of those very strong altcoins. And I still believe altcoins like this might press higher, because especially coins like FTT, I believe they're so severely undervalued, because FTX as an exchange, FTT as a token, Sam Bankman-Fried, who's the CEO of FTX, I believe that team has done incredible things, and I think they will continue to do incredible things as we go along for the rest of 2021. So I believe FTT, Solana, Serum, these are all coins that are part of that team, which is the Sam Bankman-Fried. He's backing some of these projects. He's working on the projects actively. He's building partnerships. So those are the coins that I like to invest in. All right. And again, not investment advice. I'm not telling you guys to buy or sell. These are just my thoughts. Some of the other coins that are not, say, FTX based, Binance Coin. I mean, Binance Coin has been kicking ass, right? From basically the beginning of January. So let's just say right around here, right? Look at where Binance Coin is. It's currently up almost 960%. I mean, just a killer movement so far, right? So this big sort of 9x, 10x style movement tells you that the crypto space is really just exploded over the last several months. However, I don't think that we're just going to have another 10x in many of these altcoins. I believe that they might be on their, say, final wave up, right? I don't think that we're going to get another 10x from here. It doesn't make sense to me that we've already gone up so much. If we do, I mean, it'd probably be in, very small select group of altcoins. Like here's one of my smaller, group of altcoins that I believe can still take off. Okay. Luna. Okay. If y'all don't know about this project, read up on it. Very, very interesting stuff. Sushi. Okay. Again, this is your DEX, right? DEX-based projects have done incredibly well. They have basically opened up a new way to start introducing projects in a form of yield harvesting or investing or lending or farming through a different resource other than a centralized exchange. So Sushi provides huge value as a platform, as a DEX, going forward for the next several months as we embark on this big leg of the alt season of the bull market, right? Sushi is going to be one of the key platforms that one must be paying attention to. So in that case, Sushi, in my opinion, is heavily undervalued. I own some sushi, just a disclaimer, right? Not telling anyone to buy or sell, but I believe that sushi is probably going to be no less than, $40 to $50. Okay. Uh, that's just my target. That's just how I'm looking at the market and doing my research and owning this project. Right. But here's the thing. So we're coming into this big next leg, right? And why is it that I say that, hey, this might be the large next leg before we have a huge drawdown, or maybe even a 2018 style sell-off where it might be, I don't know, 70, 80, 90% sell-offs across the board in crypto. Do I believe that? Yeah, partially. Does it have to be the same way? Not really. But here's the thing, right? A lot of these projects, even in the stock market, by the way, and I trade the stock market quite a bit, there are so many companies that have really not done well in the stock market. Like, for example, I had this chart pulled up that showed, let me see here. Where is it? Um, I had this chart pulled up on my Twitter feed somewhere. You guys could go look for it. But I talked about these different companies, right, that have clearly not been making profit, that are kind of garbage companies that are being just pumped up for no reason, right? For no reason. I mean, we know that the Fed has kind of really just pushed the market into full on, full blown risk on mode. Everybody's hunting for yield in the stock market. Maybe people believe that the US dollar is losing its strength, and you need to be invested in the stock market or crypto or whatever to seek yield just to beat inflation, whatever the case may be. But the same goes for crypto. We've blown valuations and price to book or price to sales ratios out of the water for a lot of these projects. And to be fair, honestly, 90% of the project do not come anywhere near their valuations, not even future valuations. You can make the argument then say, oh, well, Amal, what if they're projecting 2-3 years out and they're saying, okay, we're valuing Sushi or any of these protocols at 15 or 30 or $50 or whatever, because we believe in 1, 2, 3 years from now they're going to be extremely productive and going to make a ton of cash. Maybe, but crypto moves so damn fast, right, that you really don't know where the space is going to be a couple of years from now. I mean, 3 years ago, we thought that ICOs and a lot of these projects that were putting everything on the blockchain and everything was an ICO was going to be the thing, but not really, right? Over the last 6 to 9 months, you've clearly seen DeFi and NFTs came out of nowhere and stole that narrative. So what could be the narrative over the next coming months or coming years? It could be anything, really. So you can see the speed at which the space moves is really hard to pinpoint exactly where your money will be well off if you just keep it in there for a long period of time. Now, I will tell you, my plan is when I look at the large indicators that have held true in terms of identifying, say, the blow off top or the top of the bull market, one of them is this MVRVZ score. Okay. Historically, all 3 times, or technically 4 times, Bitcoin has had its quote unquote blow off top movement. This MVRVZ score has predicted that top quite well. You don't have to be exactly pinpoint top, but somewhere close to this red zone up here, that's effectively you're getting into very, very dangerous territory. This is a territory where you want to start realizing profits, getting out of the market, or start being very, very careful. Yeah, it could get higher, but here's the thing that most people in crypto do not understand. Numbers on a screen as you're making money on the way up don't mean anything. It is not what you can make, it's what you can keep. So that means that just because you've made, I don't know, 10,000 or 50,000 or $1 million in the bull market so far, the market has a very unique ability to take it all back from you, just the same way a casino does. All right. It can take it all back from you in the span of days or months, right after that blow off top, bull market like this swing has happened. I've seen it over and over in the stock market. There are tons of books, stories, documentaries, all kinds of stuff written on it. Even last week was a perfect example of someone really pissing away their hard-earned gains, which is, if you guys have not heard the Archegos Capital story, make sure y'all check it out. Where is it? Archegos Capital, right? You could probably find it alongside this thread right here, the zero hedge thread. Let me see. Okay. Shoot. Yeah, so this guy right here, okay? So Bill Huang, all right? This guy, I mean, legendary trader. Legendary trader. This dude started off with $200 million in 2012, grew it to 15 billion. Over the last several weeks, this guy and his firm were about 5x leveraged in the stock market with huge names, right? Very good companies, might I add. And they were 5x leverage from big banks and big institutions like Goldman Sachs and Nomura and Credit Suisse. And his positions started to go down further and further, to the point where his leverage was being margin called. Just the same way you get to your liquidation point, it's the same thing that happens in the stock market world, except it's really a bank or institution that's calling you and saying, hey, you better sell your shit before I pull the plug on you and sell everything for you and take all your assets that you have. So what you have to do as a trader, as a fund, is you have to start liquidating your assets, right? Imagine this person, say, if you look at Baidu, right? This is one of the companies that he was invested in. Okay. This person had a huge stride from, I think it was like last year, whenever he had picked up some of these assets, rode it all the way at the beginning and middle of February to this high. He kept adding on the way down, right? And then finally, this is the point he got liquidated. You see this big candle? That's a lot of his selling. Okay. Baidu. Vips is another one. Okay. VIP Shop Holdings. Same thing. Liquidation for Bill Huang and his fund right there. What else? Can't remember what the other names were. I think he might be in Baba as well. I think he sold like somewhere down here as well. Right? So the point is that some of the biggest whales can also get liquidated. The market is bigger than everybody. When you don't recognize that it's time to take profits or it's time to start trimming risk or getting away from the market, even the biggest traders fall. Bill Huang was one of the legendary traders, yet he still got completely annihilated by the market. This can happen to you, this can happen to me, and it can happen to everybody. Okay? Everybody and anybody, really. Because the market is bigger than any one person. All right? When there are buyers, there are sellers. And sometimes when the market gets extremely hot, the sellers know that they just have to keep the pressure on. That's it. And you will start seeing liquidations left and right, people committing mistakes, and making big, egregious mistakes like this. And don't be like this person, right? When the market starts getting a little bit too hot, when this MVRVZ score, something that I follow, the other one, which is this 200 weekly moving average heat map, which tells you how price is extended beyond the 200 MA, just a bit too extended past it, right? How it gets to be in the overbought territory. So when we start seeing these yellow and red signals right here, that's when it starts to get very, very heated. So this indicator, the MVRVZ score, I mean, Maybe you can even look at the pure multiple. I don't really pay attention to this as much, but still, again, kind of the same thing as MVRVZ score, right? Once it starts getting into this overheated, overbought territory, time to start being careful, right? So as you're entering the next big stage of the bull market, just remember that you have to have some rules, some number, something to keep you grounded so you don't get too cocky or you don't get too excited or you don't feel like you can just keep going and keep making more money. Because that's really the point at which there is no return for anybody. Because what happens is when you fall into that mindset, you keep chasing the greed, you keep chasing the high of how much more money you can make. And then you make one mistake, and then two, and then five. And before you know it, you've lost a bunch of your profit. And now you're back to where your initial capital started from. And then you'll probably lose that too. And you don't want to do that. Okay, so these are the indicators that I follow. Other than that, for local price action, okay, from day to day, week to week analysis, this is the other website that I follow. I provide my community with updates based on what I'm seeing, let's just say in options data, or if I'm looking at, I don't know, Volatility Smiles. So these are called Volatility Smiles. Let's see, if I'm looking at Bybit liquidation data, funding rates right here, why they're important. I let my community know when the funding rates are too high, it means that the market is again getting a little bit too frothy. The perpetual contracts are getting a little bit too frothy, meaning the long positions, right? These things kind of give you a better picture of what's happening in the market, where the market is getting a little bit too aggressive. I don't know what's going on with the website, but I'll just close that real quick. But in any case, right? So I still feel that the market has another leg up in it, but I'm not here to say that I'm going to just go all in and, I'm pulling the trigger and I think we're going to go to 100K and beyond, and I'm going to invest all my money in altcoins. This is the leg of the market that you can make a good amount of money, but keeping that money and not making mistakes to piss it away is very, very tough. I just want you guys to be careful as you get into this next phase. All right. So I told y'all that Sushi is a fantastic project that you could keep an eye on. I believe around this area, I think Sushi has pretty much bottomed. I could see maybe there's this trend line right here that's holding. Maybe just a quick spike down right here and then recovery on top of this trend line and then take off. I do believe that these stops are probably vulnerable. So this sweep down here should clean up all that. We should be ready to go, for much higher prices. Theta is the other project that I pay attention to. I mean, it's done extremely well. My goodness. I mean, I was in a Theta long position back from here, and I'm so dumb that I sold it at $1.30 or something on average, right? And then this thing just took off for another 10x. So you can see everybody's going to make mistakes in a bull market. It really doesn't matter. You could talk about, oh man, I used to own ETH in 2016 at $50 or something. Who cares? What are you doing now? How are you going to make money in this market now? How are you going to take advantage of it? That's what matters. Don't get caught in the old glory days where you thought you could buy Bitcoin and buy ETH or held ETH, whatever. Those days are gone. Focus on today. Today is what you have. All right. So in our community, here's what we do, right? I have this 5K account challenge. At the beginning of the year, I started this 5K account close to $5,000, right? Actually, exactly 5,000. I don't know why I said close to. Exactly $5,000, right? We've grown this account close to about 14,700. At one point, it was at a high of about 27,000 and almost to a low of about 9,400. So we've had all our ups and downs, right? But again, the one thing that I've done is to be able to show my community how I can still keep going, retain profit, not get bogged down by being too low or being too high in the market. You just have to stay in the market, all right? You cannot get bogged down by bad trades or losing trades. My community has seen me take 5, 6 losing streaks in a row. I am not afraid to show any of that. But guess what? I still keep going. I still keep going, and I still show my transparency with videos, with screenshots of showing order fills, showing my community exactly where I'm getting into the market, where I'm putting my bids in the market, as you can see, right? So point is, if you want to be able to learn and see how good traders are trading, like myself and other very smart people in our community, you can go to our webpage right here, thealphatrades.com, products page. You can select one of the options right here, and you can buy one of our memberships. All right, this should give you access to everything. There's no tiers. It's really just duration, right? So you can start off for a month or 3 or 6 or 1 year. That will give you all the access to all the channels here. We discuss altcoins. We discuss Bitcoin analysis, Bitcoin chat, my leverage long positions, altcoin leverage long positions, what spot positions am I picking up, meaning if I'm buying Theta or Cardano or Ethereum or DeFi, right? Or DEX or NFTs. What am I buying exactly, right? What am I longing? What am I shorting? What are my thoughts on the market? I often provide a ton of analysis for my members on a day-to-day basis, right? Like yesterday, I was talking about LTC or ETH or ETH some more. GVT, provide an update on that on DeFi analysis section. I talked about SRM, Band, Mirror Protocol, right? Anchor, CRV, all kinds of amazing stuff we talk about in our community. So make sure y'all hit the thumbs up first of all, okay, and then join our Advantage membership. All right, really just tons of information in here. I think you'll find it extremely helpful to join our membership and just hang out with us, because we have people from all over the world in all different ages. All right, there's no, oh, you have to be a 20 or 30-year-old to trade crypto. Not really. We have 40-year-olds and 60-year-olds. We have women and men. We have mothers and fathers. We have kids, who are maybe 20-something-year-olds from just graduating college, or we have people who are working in crypto part-time and still having their day job. So you can see there's people from all walks of life, and people from all over the world, like South Africa or India or Canada or Mexico or Poland or Netherlands, all over the world. All right. So anyway, I talked about Bitcoin price action. I talked about my thoughts on the altcoin market. I believe that altcoins are going to do relatively well. I do think that dominance going down is a good thing. I talked about some of the resources that I looked at, some things that I follow in terms of resources that help me become a better trader. And the other thing is, I have my own indicator that one of my community members developed that I use all the time, and we call this the alpha suite indicator. So it has 3 indicators, right? First of all, there's the trend maker indicator, which is moving average ribbons that you see right here. These help you understand that as a market is trending up, how is the Bitcoin price action, or the price action of any asset really? Because you could use Bitcoin here, you can use XRP if you want to, anything really. All these are applicable and useful with our indicator, right? So how do we use these? Well, for example, right, say you were wanting to look for a potential long position and you missed this big rally up. Well, had you just waited patiently at this red ribbon, which is a key moving average ribbon, you would have gotten filled right there had you left buys, or a couple hours ago right here had you left a buy. This is indicating to me, as long as price action is staying above this red ribbon, and again, this is a 1 hour time frame. You can use this on any time frame. So on the 1 hour time frame, this still looks bullish. On the 4 hour time frame, again, we've come into this red ribbon area and we're still trending up, right? From here, it looks like we haven't really completely broken down. If we just keep trending up, this could be a huge move to the upside. The other indicator that we have in this is an Ichimoku cloud-based indicator. And again, on the 4-hour basis, you can see right here along this aqua line, it's one of the key Ichimoku trend lines, or technically a moving average line, right? It helped you identify key areas of support where you could literally ping the bottom to buy, okay? So in this case right here, you could have gotten in way at the bottom right here and still been long, right? You could have bought right there. Or in the daily case, here's the most amazing thing about this indicator. In this indicator, you were given a swing bull signal on 10th of October when the prices were at 11,200. You can see we have not seen a single swing bear signal. So you could have used this indicator on a daily basis, been long or bought spot from this swing bull signal, and have held this whole time. All the green arrows right here, they actually indicate that you can potentially add to your position. So add. Red means you could trim if you want to. Green means, again, add. Red trim, green add, red trim, green add. So all through this whole thing, you could have had a fantastic position in the market by just being swing bull long from here. So you can see this indicator is extremely useful. And additionally, we have this other indicator down here. We call this the RSI divergence space indicator. It's the shepherd indicator, right? This tells you the momentum of the market. As you can see right here, the momentum of the market has been kind of just moving sideways, fading a little bit, right? So in this particular area, it's very hard to say where the market is going because the momentum has faded. What we really need is an outsized move to the upside, hopefully. And then this thing can start showing momentum again. And that will be a good indication that, all right, we're now headed up higher. Chances are that we're probably going to hit 60K, 65 or beyond. Okay. Man, the 15-minute time frame does not look good. It looks like a very, very choppy market right now. Probably means, well, the stock market is open, right? So let's see how the stock market is doing. Opened down a little bit for the day. Not too bad though. So hopefully if BTC is following the stock market, right, hopefully we see more strength in the market today to the upside. And that means hopefully BTC starts breaking out. That could be a really good sign because yesterday we actually saw the big move, this huge up move right here, right at the beginning of the open of the stock market. So that was basically, or is it like, trying to figure this out. Yeah, I think it was basically this candle right here. As soon as the market opened yesterday, this is what it did. And that's exactly what Bitcoin did too, in this same time span. So what I'm hoping is, the stock market starts pressing up, and that could be a good sign for BTC. All right. That's all I have for y'all. I think that's pretty much it. I guess the other simpler way, if you want to look at price action, say, you want to go long on a more key level or confirmation level. Well, you could say, all right, the most important level in this market, and again, this looks extremely bullish to me, but say you're not convinced, right? This thing to me is a very nice consolidation triangle, right? This thing to me looks like it's going to break out higher, but it hasn't yet, and that's fine. But if you were looking at this key level, or say this key level right here, and you're saying, hey, we want a strong break through this key high of this weekly candle resistance, right? So that's right around 58,367, right? So volume basis, what you want to see is huge move from here, huge, whether it's the current weekly candle or the next weekly candle. That's what you want to see. So at present moment, the current weekly kind of just looks like it's moving sideways. If you see a big outsized move here, that could mean that, all right, now we're ready for a next big leg up. And then we might be doing this kind of number for the next several weeks ahead. That's what you ideally want. All right, you want big volume, big breakout through here. And that's the weekly marker that you need to be watching. This consolidation to me, it looks really good, right? Even ETH on a daily basis looks very bullish. On a weekly basis, looks very bullish again, right? We just need continuation. And I think the market right now is just being capped, just by maybe overzealous, leverage traders. Who knows? Maybe the stock market is capping it. Maybe the stock market is indicating, hey, we're going to head down a little bit more. I really don't know, right? But I want to be careful in the market and not be presumptuous and say we have to break up or we have to break down. I'm kind of just playing it level by level. I want to be in a long position, but I don't want to be aggressive, right? I don't want to be too cocky and say, all right, we have to break up and we have to break up today or tomorrow. I'm patient and waiting, and I'm going to, add to the market on strength. Okay. All right. Y'all take care. Hit the thumbs up if you like our content, if you like our videos. It helps us a lot. And additionally, come join our Advantage community. All right. Take care. Cheers, and we'll talk soon.